Going viral on YouTube isn't luck. It all comes down to your ideas. And after taking channels like this to over 250,000 subscribers in 1 year, there is a simple way to come up with viral YouTube ideas that I learned speaking directly with the most talented YouTubers on the planet. And once you understand it, it will allow you to blow up your channel in the next 30 days and get big views even on a small channel. Just like I did on this, and this video that went viral on brand new channels that had never been posted on before. Now, the first way to come up with viral video ideas is actually through cheat ideas. These are videos that perform so well that they are like cheating the game. And whenever I start working on a brand new channel, these are the first videos that I make because I know they're gonna get views. The first is a social hacking video, and it's how the largest streamer of our entire century, IShowSpeed, was able to go from 0 to over 50 million subscribers in only a couple of years. You see, when you post your first video, nobody knows who you are. They don't know why they should listen to you, and they don't know why they should click on your video. But what IShowSpeed did, instead of posting thousands of videos about himself, he did different videos, challenges, and concepts around Ronaldo. You see, Ronaldo is someone who already has such a cult fan base of people who love him and look up to him. So when IShowSpeed started making entertainment videos that referenced and talked about Ronaldo, he was able to steal that audience and get to millions of subscribers before anyone even knew who he was. And that's the same reason why MrBeast made this video that became one of his most popular ever. Now, you definitely don't actually have to go and film a video with somebody like Ronaldo, because let's be real, most of us don't have access to do that. But what we can do is look at some of the biggest people in our niche. For ice skaters, that could be Alyssa Liu. For chefs, that could be Gordon Ramsay. And for business owners, that could be Alex Hormozi. Then all you want to do is just make videos centered around that person. For example, I trained like Alyssa Liu for 7 days would go absolutely viral. Or for education, we could do a video like this, where even though Alex Hormozi isn't in the video, we break down his cold email strategy, and that would capture his audience. Now, these videos blow up channels fast. And while you shouldn't make your whole channel around other people, having 1 out of every 4 videos you post be about someone who's a big name in your niche can really skyrocket your growth at the start. Just like this video did on my channel that got over 90,000 views. But let's say that you don't want to mention other people. Well, there's an even more powerful way to grow extremely fast that 99% of YouTubers don't ever talk about. And to understand it, I want to take you back 8 years ago to when a worldwide phenomenon hit the market. Fidget spinners was one of the biggest trends we've ever seen in pop culture. I remember walking into high school and everybody had one. But what most people don't know is that these little toys created some of the most viral videos of that entire year. You see, when a new trend pops up, it opens up a ton of demand for a topic where no videos currently exist. And this means that almost anyone who created a half-decent video about fidget spinners at the time would have gone viral. But the thing that you need to understand here is that you have to move with speed. And the channel Fern is probably the best example of this. Every time there is a major world event, they work their team overtime to get out a high-quality video extremely quickly. And this has allowed them to make some of their most popular videos ever. But what about right now? Because if you made a fidget spinner today, I guarantee you it would not get views. Well, right now, AI is a super popular topic. And Dan Martell is currently using this fact to make some of his most popular videos ever. He did this by first identifying the trend, making videos on it, and then posting them. The framework is quite simple, and these ideas absolutely crush. But the key here is speed. So next time you see a trend, make the concept, script, and film within the next 24 to 72 hours. If you do that and you upload within that time frame, then you will likely have one of the best videos you've ever made on your channel. But Graham Stephan, the largest personal finance channel on YouTube, blew up using the third type of cheat video, and that is news hacking. You see, every single week, Graham uploads a video about what is going on in the market. 1 week, Bitcoin is down, so he'll cover that. Then there are changes in the government, so he'll make a video on that. And every single week, he consistently gets hundreds of thousands of views. But the craziest part is that you can actually use news events on your own channel to get a lot of views very, very quickly. Because again, it goes back to the same principle as the first. You're taking advantage of a topic that has a lot of demand, but not a lot of supply. So you can either do these as like a little one-off news video, or you can do it as your entire channel. Like Ryan Hall, who's built a massive YouTube channel just covering the weather. And that channel makes him a lot of money. Now, I've even done this on my own channel. For example, I was filming a YouTube video about how the YouTube algorithm works in 2026. And I decided to make it a news video. So instead of titling it How the 2026 Algorithm Actually Works, I titled it New YouTube Update, The Algorithm is Changing. Now, this was technically true because there was a recent algorithm update. But in the video, to be honest, I didn't talk much about the update. I covered it a little bit, but there wasn't much that happened in that update, so it wasn't really worth talking about. But instead, I gave people what they really needed to hear, which is about what is working right now in 2026 that will actually help them grow. When you frame your videos to be breaking, time-sensitive, and new information, the new viewers can't help but click. click, which leads to your videos blowing up and you getting your first 100,000 plus subscribers. But you shouldn't just make these cheap videos, because while they do amazing and while they get a lot of views fast, usually after a couple days they'll flatline. Instead, about half your content should be cheap videos, and the other half should be evergreen videos. Now, evergreen videos are simply videos that are meant to get views for years and years. And when you make them the right way, they are really when your channel starts to see that exponential growth, because each video you post gets you an additional 100 plus views every 48 hours. So even if you took a break, your channel would keep growing. But how do we actually create evergreen videos? Well, first you need to understand the concept of outliers. An outlier video is a video that did exponentially better than other videos on your channel. For example, let's take Liz Rowe. If you look at her last 6 videos, we can see that on average, she gets a few thousand views. But this video right here got over 300,000. That is an outlier, and a big one at that. Or on my channel, out of these videos, they each got an average of around 10,000 views. But the storytelling one got 300,000. That is an outlier. Imagine you're the captain of a football team. You're picking all the players and you know that each player has an average of about 1 goal per game. But one of the players averages around 3 goals per game. If you're a smart captain, when you're choosing your team, you're gonna pick the guy that gets an average of 3 goals per game first. And it should be the same for your YouTube ideas. You really only wanna remake the best ideas out there on the market because they're already proven to work. But to find these ideas, you need to follow a very specific strategy. Because if you just copy your competitors like most people, then unfortunately, you're gonna get the same results as most people. And your videos will struggle to get views. You'll wind up putting a ton of effort into your content, and then when you look at your YouTube dashboard after uploading, you're gonna see a 10 out of 10, which is not fun. We've all been there.
All right, so the first thing that we want to do is go to oneof10.com. And this is essentially just a website that shows you all of the outliers on YouTube. As you can see that this one did 6.6 times better than the average video on this channel did. This one did 3.2x better, this one did 5.2x better. And they essentially just show you all of the viral videos within certain niches. So to actually use this to our advantage, there's a very specific strategy that we need to do. So let's go ahead and change these filters here. So the first thing we need to do is change the outlier score from 1 to 3x. That means that we're only going to see videos that have done on average 3 times better than a channel's average. If we do a 1x outlier, that means the video just did average, which we don't want to see that. Next, we just want to make sure that we limit the amount of subscribers because we're looking at channels that have like lower subscriber numbers, right? Because we want low subscribers, high views to get the best outliers possible. And then for views, we don't want any videos that got like 1K. So we'll put that at like minimum 10K views. And we don't want any shorts. So we'll put it like minimum 5 minutes, or we'll put like 448. Perfect. So from there, we also want to go down into the last year because we don't want anything that's like too old, right? Because we only want to see stuff that's working like right now. Then we'll apply these changes. And now here's where the strategy actually comes into play. So from here, what you're going to do is you're not going to just look up your own niche, but what you're actually going to do is you're going to look up other niches that have similar desires to your niche. So for example, in the business niche, there's a lot of sub niches that share the same desire to make money. So for example, the same person who watches a business video about how to start a business online probably has the same desire where they want to make money as the person who starts a dropshipping channel where they want to start a dropshipping store or a dropshipping business. They also want to make money online. Or for me, for my niche, people who want to grow on social media, right? So I could look at broad how to grow on social media because those people also want to grow on social media, just like YouTube growth, which is my current niche. Or I could look at Instagram growth, or I could look at Twitter growth, or I could look at LinkedIn growth. So let's go ahead and use this and see what we can come up with. So for me, on my channel, what does my audience want? They want to grow on social media. So let's look at Instagram growth because that's a very, very similar niche to mine. And the reason why we do this is because it essentially allows us to take proven concepts from other niches, bring them back to our own where they've never been done before. Because if you just copy within your niche, you're only ever going to be second best to the person you're copying. But if you copy in another niche, then you're going to be the first person to do it in your niche. So it's a proven idea, no competition. So if we look through on here, we can see that the first video is a 39x outlier. So Instagram is now on easy mode. Anyone can blow up in 2025. So that's actually an outlier that we did that worked extremely well on our channel. It was a huge outlier, got like 67,000 views roughly, and it was a great video to do. So that's a perfect idea right there. Next one is a 4.6x one. So Instagram strategies to scale clothing brands in 2025. That one doesn't really apply because it's about clothing brands. Let's check out this one, 4.1. The new way to grow on YouTube in 2026. That one is a YouTube video, a YouTube growth one. So that's not what we're looking for. Next one is the new way to grow on Instagram in 2026. So this is a perfect one. And you can see actually this guy modeled this video right here. And it did very, very well. Let's keep going through. So this one did 9.6x better. So we'll go ahead and take a look at this. The complete 2026 social media blueprint. That is a great one. So I could say the complete 2026 YouTube growth blueprint. That's a great idea that we can instantly take, bring over to our niche, and it will probably perform very, very well. Because this video got 100K views when the average video on that channel only gets around 10,000 on average, which is pretty ridiculous. Next, we have the new strategy to go viral on Instagram fast. I could do the new strategy to go viral on YouTube fast. That's a great one. I think that video would get tens of thousands of views on my channel. That's a really, really good outlier. Let's look at, keep going through, how I make 100K a month with Instagram theme pages in 2026, copy me. I could do something like how I make 100K a month with YouTube in 2026, copy me. How I made $1 million with faceless Instagram pages, how I grew 100,000 subscribers on YouTube step by step. And you essentially just want to go down this list, look for the best outliers that you can find. So this one's like a 10x, how to grow from 0 to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube in 90 days. Boom, great video. How I gain 100,000 YouTube subscribers, copy this system. Boom, great video. All of these are really, really good because they're only showing you proven video ideas. And by the way, if you want to get access to 1 of 10, I used them for the last 2 years, and they are a key part in my ideation process now. I use them literally every single day to research and come up with ideas. I'm pretty close with their team, so I hooked you guys up with a special discount. So if you want to get access to it, you can use the link in my description. They can get your first month for like $1. But yes, that would be an example of my niche, right? But let's say you have like a business channel. You could search up your niche for one. And first things first, you could just take outliers from these niches, right? Like the simple one, like the one person, $1 million business, free 5-hour course, business is hard until you build systems like this. I could take those over even back to my niche. YouTube is hard until you build systems like this. The one person, 100,000 subscriber channel, watch this before starting any YouTube channel in 2026. Like that is just really, really good concepts to do. So just to recap, take ideas from other niches that are huge outliers, bring them back to your niche where they've never been done before. That way you have proven demand and no competition, which means that your videos are very likely to get views.
So now that you know how to find these outlier videos, there's one thing that separates a 1 million view video from one that only gets 10,000. And I've actually never heard anybody talk about it ever. And to be honest, it's probably the thing holding you back right now. And it all starts with skateboarding. Did you know that the kickflip was invented only 40 years ago? Since then, things have been getting crazier and crazier. Now people are not only doing kickflips, but adding a 360 rotation to the board at the same time, which is exponentially harder. And then they're catching that 360 flip into a grind on a rail down a tin stair. 40 years ago, that would have absolutely blown people's minds. But now that's a reality. We've seen competitions go from basic tricks to absolutely insane. The tricks keep getting crazier and the age of people doing those tricks keeps getting younger and younger. Just like if you did a 180 back in the day, you'd get a lot of points. Now, you're probably gonna get almost nothing unless you do a 540. The point is, things change fast and your YouTube ideas need to compete in today's world, not 5 years ago. On YouTube, we call this niche sophistication. And each and every single niche has a certain level of sophistication. Because as time goes on, more and more people are creating videos in that niche, pushing each other, and over time, as more people compete and push each other within inside of those niches, things keep progressing and evolving. For example, let's take a look at the personal finance niche. It started off about 8 years ago with it being really impressive that someone could become a millionaire by age 26. Then more and more 20-something-year-old millionaires saw the opportunity and started telling their story. Now there's so much competition, if somebody posts how I became a millionaire in their 20s, it gets almost no views because everyone's already seen it. But no one had seen a millionaire by age 20. And so this video blew up. But then it got taken one step farther to a 17-year-old millionaire. But now the niche sophistication has gotten so high that we're seeing 15-year-olds going viral for making over $500,000 in a single month. Today, the 26-year-old millionaire just doesn't seem that cool anymore. Now, some niches like finance have a ton of niche sophistication, but others like sourdough baking do not. And this allowed us to blow up one of our clients, Heather, from 0 to over 60,000 subscribers in the span of only a few months because we were able to instantly out-sophisticate her niche and make better titles and thumbnails than everyone else, which allowed us to get over 100,000 views on our first ever video we posted on that channel. Which, by the way, if you want to work with us and have us blow up your business on YouTube, then the link is right down below. We help people either start or grow their business on YouTube, tell them exactly what videos to make in order to get views and sales, and then build out a content funnel to turn those views into buyers. Now, back to the video. So now that you know what niche sophistication is, you need to learn how to outcompete. And there are actually 4 main ways to do that. First, you can use higher numbers. Look at the numbers that everybody else in your niche is using and then go higher than that. That's one of the easiest ways. For example, let's say a video says, I read 10 studies on this topic and learned this. You could say, I read 100 studies on this topic and learned this. That would be an easy way to out-sophisticate the market. Then you have higher quality. If you have a bit more of a budget or you have editing, production skills that most people don't have, then you can just make better videos than everybody else and out-sophisticate that way. That's what Johnny Harris did in the news niche. He took his experience at a real media company called Vox, bring that over to a brand new YouTube channel where he just destroyed everyone by making higher quality videos. The next way is just making the videos longer. If everyone's making 10, 20-minute videos, you can make a 2-hour long video and out-sophisticate that way. Then you have newer info. This one's probably the easiest because you can just look at the level of information that everybody's talking about. So for example, in this video that I did right here, most people just talk about outliers on YouTube, similar to what I talked about in this video. But in that video, I talked about a new way to come up with ideas that actually isn't focused on outliers, and I said outliers are dead. So because most of my competitors are talking about outliers, which by the way, worked phenomenal, that's why I'm talking about them in this video. In that video, I put that tagline on that thumbnail because I knew it was going to out-sophisticate everybody else in my market who was just talking about how, oh, you need to come up with outlier videos. So then people think that, oh, he knows something that I don't know yet. And all of this combines into you having better ideas than 99% of other YouTubers, which means that you're going to be able to get way more views and eventually turn YouTube into your full-time career. You wanna make sure that you have a great video, which is exactly why I put together a completely free YouTube course with over 6 hours of content that teaches you everything that you need to know in order to go from 0 to over 100,000 subscribers this year. We give away everything for completely free. There's no catch. So watch this video next where I'll show you how to get access, what you'll learn inside, and how you can use the information inside to blow up your channel past 100,000 subscribers. Thanks and have a good one.
All right, so I'm currently at my dashboard on smmshiba.com, and do not get confused by the website names. SMM Shiba and SMM Dodge are actually the same website. So all you have to do once you've created yourself an account here is to go on list, click on this category icon, select, and here you want to select something, basically any option that says you from with video. So I'm going to choose this one right here, and this should be already fine. 2014, 2017, yeah. Now I'm going to click on buy, confirm, and now you can go onto your product orders and you will see this is pending. All right, the order is now completed. This didn't even take 2 minutes. What you want to do now is you want to copy that ID, and we want to be organized, right? Especially if we have multiple channels, you will not find them again. So make sure to save it somewhere.